Welcome to ValueVest Daily. Today, we're diving into a really powerful economic theory that honestly points to what could be the single biggest investment opportunity in, well, maybe ever. It's all built around this idea called Kondratiev Waves, but let's just call them supercycles.
Right. And the whole idea here is that we are standing right on the edge of a massive new economic wave. Look, this isn't about what's going to happen next quarter or even next year. We are talking about a shift that's going to play out over decades, a complete tectonic change in how the world works, all driven by some mind-blowing technology.
Exactly. And you see this sentiment popping up everywhere. This feeling that, yeah, we're ridiculously early. This isn't just wishful thinking. This is a strategic position. See that little red pin on the chart showing where we are? That's everything. Being early, that's where the real money, the true alpha, is made.
Okay, so here's the game plan for today. First, we're going to break down that chart that got everyone talking. Then, we'll look at the pattern of these waves throughout history. After that, we'll get into the great convergence. What makes this wave so different? And then, the best part, the playbook. We'll wrap up by looking at where the smart money is heading and what you should be thinking about next.
So, let's get right to it. This is the chart. Now, at first glance, yeah, it just looks like a bunch of waves. But if you look a little closer, two incredibly important trends just leap right off the page.
First, just look at how long these things last. The cycles are getting shorter, way more compressed. I mean, what started as a 60-year wave back in the Industrial Revolution, well, now it's projected to happen in just 25 years. But here's the real kicker, the amplitude. That's the sheer economic power and wealth created by each wave. It's getting exponentially bigger. So you've got faster cycles, but with a much, much bigger punch.
And that acceleration means that disruption is just happening faster than ever before. So to really get why this sixth wave is supposed to be so huge, we gotta quickly look at the pattern. Don't worry, this isn't a history lesson. This is just about seeing the rhythm of how this stuff works.
All right, let's do a speed run. Wave 1, water power, textiles, game-changing. Wave 2, steam and rail. I mean, that literally reshaped continents. Wave 3 gives us electricity and cars. Wave 4, aviation, early computers. And Wave 5, the one we all just lived through, software, the internet. You see it, right? Each wave builds on the last, and the pace just keeps picking up. 60 years, down to 55, to 50, all the way down to 30.
So that accelerating pattern brings us right here, right now. And this next part, this is the absolute core of this entire explainer. This is what makes the sixth wave a total and complete game changer. The sixth wave is all about one word, convergence. It is the moment where the digital world, supercharged by AI, smashes into the physical world of robots, energy, and heavy-duty infrastructure. The easiest way to think about it is AI with hands. You see, the fifth wave gave us this incredibly powerful brain up in the cloud. The sixth wave is now giving that brain a body to actually see, move, and build things in the real world.
And this slide just lays it out perfectly. The fifth wave was all about digital networks, websites, social media apps. It was a world of clicks and taps and swipes. But the sixth wave? That's all about physical AI and automation. We're talking about robots that run on their own, AI-powered energy grids that can stop blackouts before they happen, and factories that pretty much run themselves. We're moving from a world of bits to a world of atoms, powered by those bits.
Okay, so if this convergence is the big idea, how in the world do you invest in it? Well, the framework is actually pretty simple. Every massive tech shift creates new, massive problems, and the real money is found in the companies that are solving those problems.
Let's start with the first and most obvious problem. AI is unbelievably power-hungry. A single query on a modern AI model can use 10 times the electricity of a simple Google search. And just try to scale that up to a global level. You realize pretty quick that our current energy grid, it just can't handle what's coming.
And the solution? It's a full-on rebirth of nuclear power and our grid infrastructure. AI data centers need that rock-solid 24/7 power, and this is already pushing giants like Microsoft to sign massive deals with nuclear operators like Constellation. We're also seeing this incredible boom in new tech like SMRs, small modular reactors, from companies like Oklo and NuScale. And of course, you've got the classic picks and shovels plays, the cooling systems from Vertiv and the grid hardware from Eaton that literally make all of this possible.
All right, problem number 2 is all about people. Across the developed world, we've got labor shortages that aren't going away, and at the same time, there's this big push to bring manufacturing back home, what they call reshoring. When you put those two things together, you get this perfect storm, where automation isn't just a nice little bonus anymore, it's an absolute economic must-have.
And the solution there is just an explosion in robotics and automation.
This is where a company like Tesla stops being just a car company and turns into a true robotics and AI play with its Optimus project. But it's also about all kinds of specialized automation, from the cobots that Teradyne makes that work right alongside people, to the insane warehouse logistics from Symbiotic, to the life-saving precision of medical robots from Intuitive Surgical. Each one solves a very specific problem.
Okay, the third big problem is all about connectivity and security. I mean, as we start plugging AI into all our physical infrastructure, that world needs to be watched, connected, and sometimes defended. In this wave, it's not just happening down here on Earth. It's extending all the way up into space.
So the solution is building out entirely new space infrastructure and autonomous systems. Space is the new high ground, plain and simple. You've got companies like Rocket Lab basically becoming the FedEx of low Earth orbit, providing the rides to space that everyone needs. Then you have companies like Redwire building the actual hardware that works up there, and Spire Global using its satellites to watch everything from ships to weather. And on the defense side, you bet autonomous drones from leaders like AeroVironment are becoming absolutely critical.
So wow, we've just covered 3 massive, world-changing themes. How do we even begin to organize this for a watch list? Well, this next slide gives you a framework to help sort these opportunities by how much risk you're willing to take.
I love this table because it breaks it down by theme: nuclear, grid, robotics, space, and then maps them across a risk spectrum. So you have your established, more conservative players like Constellation. Then you move into more aggressive growth plays like Rocket Lab. And finally, you get to the speculative moonshots like Oklo, which, by the way, is backed by OpenAI's Sam Altman and is literally trying to put a mini nuclear reactor right next to a data center. It's just a great way to see the whole landscape.
And we have to just keep saying this, you have to remember the time scale here. This is not a short-term trade. You're not looking for a quick pop next quarter. The projection for this entire wave is 25 years. We are in the first inning of a very, very long game.
So if there's one thing you take away from all of this, it's this. Infrastructure always gets built before the cool applications show up. Before you get the killer app for AI in the real world, you have to build the data centers. You have to get the power. You have to build the robots and launch the satellites. The smart money right now, it's all flowing to the foundation first. And that leaves us with one last question for you to think about. Are you positioned for the foundation of the next quarter century?
And of course, the obligatory disclaimer, this is for educational purposes only. This is not financial advice, it's not tax advice. The whole point of this explainer is to take a really complex theory and give you a framework for doing your own research. We've covered a ton of ground today, from nuclear power to robots to space. So the real question now is, what part of this massive wave are you most excited about? Please drop a comment below and let us know if you want us to do a deep dive into any specific high-risk, high-reward opportunities. And if you found this useful, please subscribe, like, and share ValueVest Daily for daily learning opportunities before you put your money to work.